I didn't grow up going to church at all, except for maybe a wedding or funeral. By the time I reached high school, my dad and I, in particular, really butt heads. So it was a challenge living with him, and I'm sure it was a challenge living with me. And I really did my own thing for a number of years entering into college. I went away to college in Vermont and had a blast partying and doing all the things that I thought were exciting at the time. At age 21, doing what I liked to do best, which was drink at that time and have fun, I met my now wife in a bar in Vermont, and I met her, and she was different, and not just because I was instantly attracted to her, but because she, in a day's time, I found out that she went to church. She didn't drink, even though I met her at a bar. Even to this day, she's never had a drink of alcohol. And so I met her at the bar that night. The next morning, she went to church, and she told me about that. And I never met anyone in college who went to church. And so in the short period of time that I got to know her at that point, we fell in love. I knew instantly she was, or within days, that she was the one I was going to marry. And this whole God thing intrigued me. And so I asked her, I said, so if you had to choose between me and God, who would you choose? And I asked her this probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 times, and without hesitation, each time she said, God. She gave me that answer, and it kind of opened my eyes to someone or something that I really hadn't been exposed to. And so then through getting to know her family and going to church in the town that she grew up in, I realized that God was not just some mythical character in some big book that I heard about. I'd never even opened the Bible up to this point. I reached the point after going to church for about a year and asking really a million questions, primarily of her dad, who I viewed as someone who's super wise, someone who would just not give me answers to my questions for the sake of giving answers. But if he knew him, he'd tell me. If he didn't, he'd find out. And so I reached a point where I had to make a choice. And so that choice was not just whether I believe in Jesus or not, although that was the choice, but it was also what sort of life am I going to lead. I was going to follow Jesus. I wasn't going to get all the answers and to my questions. So I was going to make that decision and just kind of see what happened. And as a result, an undescribable peace and joy came from that. And so then I instantly realized all that stuff and excitement and adrenaline that I had been pursuing and really chasing after and doing a really good job at that. It was I was a successful sinner, and all those things I just wasted my time, and I wasted a lot of people's lives that I brought into that world with me, and it was really. It was rough when I realized that. And so at that same time, God did a pretty crazy thing. There's this city nearby that my wife was involved with, working with. It's basically a crisis pregnancy center. And she was working with the girls that went there, and they had made decisions to keep their babies, and they were just trying to be moms and be the best women they could be, and when there's a girl with a newborn baby, there's 99.9% of the time plus 0.1%. There's a guy on the other side of that, and there wasn't any means or any program in place, so to speak, to reach those guys. And so Molly and the director of this organization, this ministry, approached me and they said, hey, would you be interested in this? I'm like, in my mind, I can't remember actually what I said. In my mind, I'm like, no way, man, because this is, I own a business now, and I spend time with high school age kids, and I could probably do college age kids. So I'm like, well, give me business guys, or give me high school age kids, and yeah, no problem. But just this is just a whole different population than what I felt equipped to work with. I discovered that despite my not feeling equipped or being equipped, really God just uses people who want to, just uses the love that I had and for people to as the primary tool. There's a whole range of emotion that comes with working with people who really have a lot of things stacked against them and are making bad decisions and making great decisions, but for some reason they're letting the bad decisions kind of overcome their good decisions. The days of just handing someone a Bible, which is what people would do a generation or two ago, because the people who are far from God at that point were just far from God in the sense that they weren't going to church. But chances are they grew up going to church. They knew the hymns. They knew who God was. They knew who Jesus was. That's not the case anymore. Although I use the Bible at Band of Brothers, it is not something we just give to a guy and say, here you go, good luck. To have something that can connect the personal relationship I have with this guy, with a guy, and connect them to the Bible and to the church is so critical. So to have something that can break it down, can translate into just everyday terms and understanding what the Bible and the life with Jesus is all about, and the reality of the struggles that continue to come even after you make that decision to follow Jesus. It's like giving someone who knew nothing about computers today, putting a computer in front of them with all the cords unplugged and wrapped in wrapped in a spiral, just place it on a table and be like, here, and that's it. No one and have no clue. I think that's what we do when we give someone a Bible today. And we have the greatest of intentions. Same with giving that person a computer. You and I could help someone for that first time log onto the computer and access whatever information is that may change their life. Unfortunately, we can't stand by their side, especially in those critical first however many sessions they need to have to really get to know how to navigate that computer. And it's the same with the Bible. And so as much as I wish I could meet with the Band of Brothers guys every day for the first 3 months or year of their walk with Jesus, it's just not possible. And so to have any sort of tool, and even church is only once a week, and then and even at most, if they take advantage of everything at church, it's just a few times a week. So there's just such a huge need for really anything that's going to help narrow that gap. I am the Unmoved Movement.